Hello, hello, good morning, happy Monday. Said nobody ever. Said nobody ever. You are tuned into the Ted Manila Information Show, TMI Show for short, because we bring you way too much information. I'm Manila Chan. That over there is Ted Rall. We're going to talk about some spicy stuff today on the show. A couple different angles on immigration, I guess you can say. One of them, the spicy topic, I would say, is how this immigration crackdown is going to make old people in nursing homes really, really suffer the consequences. They're already seeing that in real time. I haven't heard yet, Ted, of any reported deaths yet of grandma, but I'm sure that's coming because this is all just happening. Also related that a federal judge has halted some of this mass migration crackdown, especially that we're seeing in California, right? With ICE just randomly arresting people that they presume are illegal migrants.
If you're brown, you must go down.
With no warrants. So we'll talk about that.
You don't need no warrant.
Yeah,
like, you have dark hair. You have dark hair, a little swarthy skin. You must be doing something wrong.
Probably.
We'll figure out what it is later.
Couple stories about like tariffs. Believe it or not, you guys, it's actually a slow Monday, which I guess is kind of a good thing. So we'll talk about a little bit about tariffs and Zelensky meeting with European leaders in Rome this weekend, talking about, Trump now pledging new weapons to him, and how he's saying he's going to rebuild Ukraine and how he's going to strike deep in the heart of Russia. And a couple of those things, that's pretty. I do, all things considered, Ted, I do think that's kind of a slow Monday, relative to what we've been seeing, like bombing Iran or stuff like that. None of that happened this weekend, so that was actually pretty good, I think.
Although we have, very important Clovis-related news. Cats are in the news. Cats are discovering new diseases. So,
is Clovis okay?
Clovis is fine. No, he's very. He always likes to see his kind in the news, leading the world of science. Yeah,
are we talking about livestock?
No, one of his cat brothers discovered two. You didn't read the whole script. He discovered one of Clovis's cat brothers discovered two diseases.
Oh, I see you added this here. I did not see that. But there is animal news, which is kind of gross.
Yeah, as it often is.
I'll show you some gross video later.
Promises.
Gross.
If we survive the epic immigration clash. Full disclosure here, the team was already. You've joined, as they used to say in the 1970s. You've joined the program already in progress. Yeah. Things were spicy backstage. Here.
As you know, producer Robbie has his position on immigration, and while I believe in reform, I believe you can't go cold turkey with stuff like this, and we'll get into that. So that's what is on the table, on the docket today. So if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. So please be sure to hit the like and the follow button, especially there on YouTube. We're like less than 50 viewers away. If you guys want to help us continue this program,
tantalizingly close.
Like 50, like 48 actually, Ted. Last I checked. Yeah. So come on, YouTube. Hit that subscribe button.
Step it up.
Doesn't cost you anything. It's not going to cost you anything. And our loyal,
if you don't,
we're
going to find out where you live, and we're sending ICE over to arrest you.
Oh my God! We're going to make a false ICE claim.
Eat your grandmother, because that's what they do.
We're going to make a false ICE claim. Yeah. I guess these days, you can just say,
the new swatting. Hey, icing is the new swatting.
It is. Just ICE everybody.
Yeah, there'll be some migrants there. Doing some migrant stuff.
I saw some brown people over there.
Yeah, they're doing some brown stuff with their skin. It's like, you gotta go over there and rape them and kill them. It's like, all right. Those ICE guys, man, they might be.
Are they raping and killing
ugliest dudes? They're like the Deliverance guys. Like they're really like the boy you got a pretty mouth. They're those guys. They're so piggy and inbred looking. Oh man. Awful.
But are they really raping though?
I think that's
probably.
I would think so. I mean, think about it.
You know what? We always find out later.
They want. Nobody cares about the victims.
They got their mask on.
They have no access to lawyers. Yeah, a lot of them are young women. What do you think happens? Yeah.
They got all the ICE dudes have masks on. Nobody can see who they are. Yeah. And we always find out later, Ted, that remember during the Obama years when kids in cages were happening and nobody was talking about it, then because we all loved Obama, right? The media just loved him. And then we found out
he literally was, even with everything Trump is doing, which is crazy and a lot of it's really disgusting, he's only deporting at a third of Obama's rate.
Can you imagine? A third. And what we found out later during the post-Obama autopsy is that we found out that all of these women were being raped in these cages. Yep. Children were being diddled, and there was no adult supervision anywhere for these children. So a lot of these people that are supposed to be minding the migrants were being
deep inside their migrants that they were supposed to be taking care of.
And there was no media outrage even post Obama era autopsy, Ted. It just kind of happened. People revealed that it happened. News admitted it happened, and then they just moved on.
Well, no, look, if Obama does it, it's not wrong. By definition.
It's true.
If Obama jumps the subway turnstile, it's not wrong. If Obama doesn't pay
But can you do it if Obama does it?
No, I'm white.
Oh.
If I do it, it's wrong.
This is specifically for Barack Obama, you're saying?
He has a get-out-of-jail-free card no matter what.
Oh, okay.
Remember how Richard Nixon said, famously, Richard Nixon said, well, if the president does it, it's legal. Well, that wasn't really true for Nixon. That's why he had to leave early, because he was white. But Obama.
Ah,
Mhm.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, but so it's only a free pass for Obama, and because now that Trump is a
Yeah, I don't
white
know if it
male
would have
doing it,
applied to Harris. I'm not sure. Because
I think it
the
would.
chick thing is either like double
No,
like indemnity,
she's
or
not
it's
only
like,
biracial, but she also has the vagina, we presume.
but that's often, that counts against
That's if she
politicians.
identifies as a woman, Ted.
Oh, I think yeah, she identifies that. I mean, she's clearly a lady. Um, but
I mean, I haven't asked her if she identifies that way,
I
so
mean, you know, and
I don't know.
whenever she's not speaking, she's an attractive lady.
That's true. She's what I would presume is a pretty lady.
We call
And
it
then
that,
she talks,
like a handsome woman, as they used to say. She
as they
is.
used to say.
She's a handsome
She's,
woman.
she's a good-looking lady.
She looks
And
she's not as hot when she's standing in a courtroom in Northern California demanding that a completely innocent black man be sent to death row. Not as cute then.
for 3 weed counts
Right.
back then.
right, exactly.
But yeah, she's a pretty lady even still. Like people will say, she's old, or
But
she's not that
being a
old.
woman can obviously
pretty.
It can count against you in politics. I mean, a lot
No,
of, like,
well,
what's Barbara
I
Jordan,
think her free pass.
Barbara Jordan always said she was a black woman. She just said it was a lot harder for her to be a woman politician than to be a black politician. I believed her.
Maybe.
Of course,
I think she would get more of a I think she would get more of a pass because not only is she black and Asian, but she's also a woman. She's a biological woman. So I think she gets more on the, what do they call it in the
But we
DEI
haven't
world?
had one of those, so we don't really know as president.
I know. But what do we call that? It's not she's intersectional. Intersectional.
Oh, yeah.
That's the word. Intersectional. She's intersectional because she's not only 2 minority races, but she's also a female.
Robbie's right. We have to get into it. Let's get into it.
All right. So with that, all she was missing, Ted, was saying that she was like bi or something, or like.
Well, that could well be.
That's all she was missing. Then she would win like
By the way, it would not surprise me if she were bi at all. Would it surprise you? It would not surprise me.
Probably not. Probably not.
I'm
all right.
Saying
with that,
I'm just saying, you know.
No.
It could be.
It could be. Maybe. I don't know. But, you know, that she is not President Harris. Bottom line.
Not yet. The Democrats want to run her next time.
She's going to be governor, Ted. She's going to be governor of California.
She won't be governor.
She's going to be governor. And then we're going to get President Newsom.
God.
Just watch. Just watch. I'm calling it right now. It's going to be President
Newsom.
Newsom.
Entirely possible. You could easily be right. Entirely.
Governor Harris.
At least 50% possible.
Governor Harris and President Newsom.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Just saying. All right, let's get to the news.
All right. Transparency, I do not want to talk about this very long because tariffs bore me.
Yeah, I'm bored to death with it too. But it's news.
Just FYI, Trump announced 30% tariffs on the EU and Mexico over the weekend. Unless there's one of those usual taco rollback agreements, this all goes into effect August 1st, unless, of course, it doesn't, which it probably won't, unless it does. The EU is the biggest single trading partner with the U.S. We had $1 trillion worth of trade with them last year. Trade with Mexico was very high, almost the same, $840 billion. Collectively, we're talking about a third of all U.S. imports go to those two trading partners. Negotiations are ongoing. Trump said that if the EU tries to retaliate, then the U.S. will simply increase their tariffs accordingly and proportionately. The EU said that it will delay any countermeasures that were initially planned to go into effect tomorrow until early August. Trump has threatened tariffs on dozens of countries, of course, in his attempt to reduce the trade deficit of $1.2 trillion last year and to bolster manufacturing. A 90-day pause on the tariffs expired this week, and 3 countries, the UK, which is not part of the EU anymore, Vietnam and China, have all agreed to either new arrangements or to a truce. Those deadlines for the other countries has also been extended to August 1st. So it's basically like kick the tariff can down the road shtick, it seems to be getting. I mean, look, I think it's important to give the president, even though I didn't vote for him, credit where it's due, and clearly he's getting his way on tariffs in a lot of respects, and this approach seems to be getting some movement that really we hadn't seen before he came along. Not even in his first term, he didn't do any of this, but it's working. I don't know that trade deficits per se really don't seem to have any economic impact at all. The trade deficit is like a meaningless number. But I would like to see, of course, I'd like to see more manufacturing and more jobs here in the U.S. This won't hurt. I'm not convinced. I don't know how much it will help. I just don't know the answer to that. When people say that's an expression like, oh, I don't know if this will work, and they really mean like, I don't think this will work. When I say I don't know, I really just don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's because it's unprecedented. So all I know is prices of goods will go up. I don't know ultimately
if the tariffs stay in effect.
If the tariffs happen, the prices of goods will go up. I don't know if ultimately how that will help the economy if your dollar doesn't go as far as it did 2 years ago.
Inflation. It'll increase inflation.
Right. So with that, I think that's going to cause the immediate pain for Americans. But there are countries that are like pushing back, like, for example, Brazil. Lula has already said, like, if you're going to impose this on us, we're going to impose reciprocal on you. Mm-hmm. So there are some, I think there's a lot of talk, especially out of the BRICS nations, because a lot of those BRICS countries do a lot of trade with the U.S. and they are devising something that we're not privy to because Trump, remember, last week lashed out at BRICS. So he has to know, some intel that BRICS nations are planning some sort of resistance to his tariff plan. We don't know exactly what that is yet. They haven't revealed what it is, but they're obviously working on something. Remember, we were pitching the name BRICS bucks because they were working on their own BRICS currency, like the euro.
That's a long way off, but
right.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're even pitching that idea, I think, makes Trump really uncomfortable.
BRICS is in the very early stages. It's basically where the EU was in the 70s, when it was called the European Community. And
I remember that.
Yeah, and they were trying to figure out what they were going to do together. It was only under Mitterrand and Helmut Kohl in the early 80s that then France and Germany got together and created the EU as we kind of know it today, with a unified currency and all that. So it takes time. I think things could move faster now, but still,
I think they have to because Trump is so erratic.
It's going to take. Yeah, no, I mean, I think the thing is it going to be a political union? No. What it's going to be is looser. They're going to reduce trading restrictions. They're going to reduce tariffs between each other. That's the first step. And then, moving, but you can imagine how radical it would be, for example, for the ruble and the yuan, just to get or the renminbi, whatever you want to call it.
Can you imagine?
Those two to be, just those two alone, and the Indian rupee, let's say, to be unified, just those three countries, it would be massive and a huge undertaking.
Well, we covered last week that BRICS does account for over 40% of global trade. So that would be massive if BRICS really got traction much faster.
The logistics of it would be tough because, like, for example, the ruble doesn't trade freely across all currencies. The yuan certainly does not trade freely.
Right.
It's basically a state-controlled.
Remember, the Saudis. The Saudis already agreed to take the Chinese yuan.
Yes, and the rupee it trades only. It does not trade freely with all other countries either, and it's a weak currency. So,
well, for the Chinese, that's already a huge win for them. What, a year or so, 2 years ago, when the Saudis agreed to sell oil in
plus a monetary
yuan?
union, the EU is exposed. The EU has exposed the dangers of a monetary union. So, like with the whole pigs crisis, Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Spain.
Yeah.
because the problem is when you have a monetary union, basically the richer countries end up having to prop up the poorer countries, and
That's right.
and an economic crisis can spread like a virus. So whereas like let's say Italy had been fucked up, and then like it would have been in the past, if the Italian lira tanked, no one in Berlin cares. But now they do.
this is why Vladimir Putin, Ted, is like, yeah, Ukraine join EU. Please go ahead.
As a cartoonist, I like seeing those political cartoons on the front page of the newspaper where they belong, the way God intended.
Yes. Yes.
Whoa, what's with these eyebrows? Look. Whoa. Whoa.
Brzezinski, Polish guy. Maybe that's the look in Poland.
He's obviously, I think Robbie would be deeply concerned by this guy, that he might be harboring illegal migrants in his eyebrows.
Maybe that's the look in Poland, Ted. Don't judge.
Yeah.
Don't judge. This is the look in the EU, okay?
Good-looking man.
Polish guy.
I'm going to say he does not, this man does not make me reconsider my heterosexuality at all.
He's a Polish economist, Ted. This is the look.
I'm on team hetero 100%
This
right
is
now.
A Polish economist, and maybe this is the look that they go for. But that's beside the point.
He ain't it.
That's beside the point. The whole thing here is with the EU, and as you were saying, if you become part of an economic union in the way that the EU is, where you join your money, then the richer countries, you got to kind of prop up the poorer countries. So I really think that's why Vladimir Putin's like, yes, Ukraine, go join. Yes, you go be with the EU. Totally fine. No NATO, but
that's
please
go
join.
I mean, Ukraine
join the EU.
Ukraine would obviously not be one of the richer countries in the EU. I also think that but I do think Putin also is thinking about the future. He's always taken a long view to everything. That's his mentality. He's a student of history.
Course.
For him, like if it happened
we heard him explain 800 years of Russian history to
him,
Tucker
if it happened in 1406, it's like it happened yesterday. And so, maybe he's a vampire. I don't know. But the point is that he would like an EU trading partner on his borders
next door.
It would be very convenient for really both the EU and for Russia.
Smart.
So, yeah. Because obviously this war won't go on forever. Wars never do.
That's why he's like, yes, go join EU. Yes.
Fly, little bird.
Please.
Fly, Ukrainian bird. All right, we should keep moving here.
All right.
Speaking of which.
Yes.
Ukrainian leader Vladimir Zelensky is threatening to attack deep inside of Russia. This just days after the U.S. decided to send yet more weapons, and we'll get into, and also the Patriot missile batteries via, basically this is complicated. The U.S. supplies the Patriot missile batteries to Ukraine, but in an echo of Trump and his claim that the Mexicans would pay for his wall, is claiming now that the EU is going to pay for the Patriot missile batteries. This time I think I might almost believe him. But anyway, Zelensky made his remarks after meeting with Defense Minister Rustem Umerov, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Alexander Skirsky, and Chief of the General Staff, Andrei Ganatov, on Sunday. Among the recent attacks deep into Russia, Ukraine targeted those military airfields housing strategic bombers up in Siberia. You remember that a month ago. Drones and missiles from Ukraine also attacked apartment buildings and civilian infrastructure as well. According to Russia, the Ukrainians also were responsible for derailing a passenger train on March 31st, killing 7 people. So Germany is going to provide Ukraine with a batch of long-range missiles, which Germany will pay for. Major General Christian Freuding, who oversees this weapons transfer for the Ukis, has said. Trump also said that the Pentagon will resume missile deliveries and is reportedly approving the first new aid package during his second term. Russia says that it views the use of foreign-supplied missiles as the same as direct participation by Western countries, and says that Ukrainian troops don't know how to operate these sophisticated weapon systems on their own. And from what we've seen, Russia is accurate about that. Doesn't seem like so. This is, look. Here's the thing. I don't really know what happened here with Trump. And I don't know what happened here with Putin. It looked like things were moving in the right direction a few months ago, and now Trump has doubled down on Team Zelensky again, and he's pissed off at Putin. He said that Putin's nice and polite, but he keeps bombing Ukraine. I'm curious what the Russian perspective is here.
Well, for the Russians, they have all the leverage. Why there's no incentive for them to stop unless they're going to get everything that they are demanding. It's plain and simple. If you're winning a war,
well, who's saying no
to the Russian demands?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Zelensky and the United States has been flip-flopping back and forth.
I guess the point is that the U.S. I guess my point here is that Zelensky, of course, is saying no, but the U.S. could, and in my view, should tell Zelensky either
that's right,
do what is required here, or we're out
to end the bloodshed, right? But they don't. Whatever has happened to Trump in the last, 6 weeks or so, coincidentally. The coincidental time frame with like the Epstein news, the breakup with Elon, it was like the breakup with Elon sent Trump over the edge, and now he's gone the other direction, including on Ukraine, and he's suddenly like, oh, Vladimir Putin's making me mad. Well, a month before that, you were kicking Zelensky's ass out of the White House. So it's like, the thing is, Trump doesn't have any strong personal beliefs or position to fall back on, right? It's whoever's whispering in his ear. And in this case, I'm going to say Lindsey Graham with that sweet Southern drawl, whispering in Trump's ear. And now he's like, we're going to send more Patriot missiles. We don't even know if it's the whole battery kit or if it's just missiles or whatever, but he's flip-flopping on that.
No way the Ukrainians can run those. No way.
Yeah, that's right. They don't. They have some limited experience because Biden did provide a Patriot a couple. I don't know,
got something blown up like after
4 or 5,
like after 2 weeks or something, right? It was like gone.
Yeah. So they got some operational use. Yeah. The Yuki's got some operational use.
It's like giving your 16-year-old. It's like giving your 16-year-old a Camaro. It's not going to last long. Yeah.
Right. That's basically what happened. Biden gave it to them. They got a little limited action out of it. They got some training on it, and then it got blowed up. So I don't know. Trump's supplying some more. He just said the other day, and this is I don't know, 48 hours maybe 72 hours prior to this most recent soundbite of Trump saying, Putin talks nice in public and then he bombs the hell out of Ukraine at night. He talks nice during the day and then bombs the hell out of Ukraine at night. Mm-hmm. And I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what he said.
That's right.
But like 72 hours before that comment, he was saying he had a great phone call with Vladimir Putin and things are moving in the right direction. So what changed in those 72 hours? I would say it's just somebody like Lindsey Graham talking in his ear. And I think Ted, this is what we're seeing on screen, the Ukraine Recovery Conference, which is what I mentioned at the top of the show, that happened in Rome from the 10th and 11th of July. This was a whole conference about the EU, about how they're going to do the whole recovery, rebuilding, whatever, rebuild, reduce, reuse, or whatever in Ukraine, that they're going to recycle Ukraine somehow. So I suspect there's something to do with that. From my understanding, BlackRock said that they're out in terms of like the rebuilding efforts of Ukraine. But now it may appear to be that some European entities are interested in making deals in a post-war Ukraine. So I think what we're looking at is them trying to bide some time until they can figure out exactly what the 5, the 10, the 20-year plan is in rebuilding Ukraine. So Trump has to, bide some time and, hey, here's some Patriot missiles. Go have fun with that, kid.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I think that's what we're looking at is they're biding time until they figure out the highest bidder. And I mean, that's really all it is. I really think that's all it is. It's brass tacks of money. That's it.
Total transparency. I'm bored with the Ukraine war. I want it to be over. I'm bored with the topic. I'm bored. I'm annoyed with Trump. The one thing I liked about Trump the most was that he promised to bring an end to this insanity.
That's right.
And now he's not doing that. So maybe he can go bomb himself. I'm done with the whole thing. It's like
that was the one. That was like the one thing that I thought, well, there's a chance here, because if I look at Gaza, either way, had it gone Harris, had it gone Trump, whatever, both of them were going to be on the side of Bibi. It didn't matter, right? So it's like, okay, the one differentiating factor between these two and the Uniparty was that Trump was talking about ending this war, whereas Harris was like, Slava Ukraini.
Right. Yep, but
this guy sucks.
They're all the same. All right, let's move on.
But look, Ted.
Here.
Look, Ted. Look at what he's. Look, Ted.
Right. What?
Ted, look what he's wearing.
Ooh,
he's wearing things with buttons now.
Ooh, could cuffs be far behind?
He's wearing. Could collars be far behind? Don't know. It's like a new man.
Yeah. Yeah. He's. I really hate this twerp. I just said so. Jinx. All right, let's move on. Let's get to it here. Nursing homes who have already been struggling to recruit new staff are now dealing with Trump's attack on one of their few reliable sources of new workers, immigrants. Facilities for older adults and disabled people say that the sporadic loss of employees who've had their legal status revoked by Trump has already been a problem, but now they think it's going to get even worse. We feel completely beat up right now. That according to Diki Katau, CEO of AG Roads, which operates nursing homes in Atlanta. About a third of their staff is made up of foreign-born people from about 36 countries. The pipeline, he says, is getting smaller and smaller. 8 of his workers are expected to be forced to leave soon after having their temporary protected status revoked. TPS lets you stay and work in the country legally if your home country is unsafe due to civil or unrest or natural disaster. And under Biden, the TPS covered over a dozen countries, including countries like Venezuela, which actually isn't dangerous, and Haiti, which is dangerous. Those with TPS represent a tiny minority of AG Roads staffers, but Cato says it'll be very difficult, if not impossible, to replace them, and he worries about what comes next. Nearly 1 out of 5 civilian workers in the United States is born overseas, according to the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics. But as in construction, ag, and manufacturing, immigrants are overrepresented in these nursing homes. More than a quarter of the estimated 4 million employees, nursing assistants, home health aides, personal care aides, and other so-called direct care workers are born overseas, according to a nonprofit called PHI, which looks at this stuff. The aging of the boomers is, of course, going to create more demand. BLS says there's going to be more growth among this sector than any other job by 2032. They expect 820,000 new positions to become open during that time frame. Nursing homes, assisted care, home health agencies, and similar elder care outfits, we're counting on immigrants to fill those jobs. So Trump is definitely throwing a wrench into the gears here. COVID, of course, also made a lot of workers quit those jobs. Some places are starting to see employment normalize to pre-pandemic levels, and now this is happening. Some in the industry have watched in frustration because he decided to loosen stuff up, at least in terms of his words. We don't know if that's actually going to happen, and say that he was going to go easy on deporting employees of farms and hospitality industry. But apparently he doesn't have that same kind of view when it comes to nursing homes. And so also what's happening is it's really hard to get legal people licensed now under Trump. According to Mark Sanchez, COO of United Hebrew, that's a nursing home in here, not far from me in New Rochelle, just north of New York City. He says this process has become really complicated. There are lines upon lines upon lines, and now they're saying I'm going to go to Canada and I'm going to go to Germany, and they're welcoming me with open arms. Long care term workers are routinely lured away, not just by hospitals and doctors, but restaurants, stores, factories, etc. Half of the average nursing home staff turns over each year. That's crazy, according to federal data, making the attraction and retention of every employee vital to their operation. Well, okay. So I have thoughts about this, and I know Robbie has thoughts about this, and we should probably get into it. This is, it's a major nursing homes. We talked a little bit about this before the show, are a highly extractive job, sector of the economy. So technically speaking, on the books, they have very low profit margins, very low, like less than 1%. But the reality is that the actual profit margin is really quite high. They have all sorts of sleazy, hidden ways of basically redistributing their financial books to make it look like they're barely making money and they can extract money. Like, for example, they will sell off the land that the nursing home is on and then lease it back at an inflated rate. And the new owners, the corporate owners of these facilities will then extract that money. Basically, look, I went through this. My mother died in a nursing home 5 years ago in Ohio. And I had to pay $7,000 a month cash for my mom to be taken care of. So, that's $84,000 a year cash. In New York, where I live, you need to earn probably about $110,000 to $120,000 before taxes to pay that. It's insane. That's Ohio. Okay, it's much worse in more expensive state like, say where you are there in D.C. or here in New York City where I am. So the point is, it's only gotten up. I'm sure it's more expensive in Ohio. Meanwhile, these people are making minimum wage, right? Like in Ohio,
right.
Like they're making like $8, $9 an hour. Here in New York, they're making barely $15 an hour. The money is being extracted, and I gotta say, I don't have a lot of sympathy for this industry. I think they could afford and should afford to pay better wages for what is a very important job, taking care of our parents. And like I mentioned, right, like if you're paying $7,000 or more a month to have your mom taken care of, I got to say I was incredibly unimpressed. There's almost no staff. You walk around, if you need anyone, there's no one available. It's not that their fault. Every nursing home is understaffed. They don't hire enough of these people. They don't pay them well enough. And then they're, meanwhile, raking in billions of dollars in profits. Fuck them. Pay a living wage. And then, you won't have to hire foreigners and you won't have this problem.
But they're never going to pay a living wage as long as you can import workers who will work for pennies on the dollar from all over the world. That's the point. That's the issue that I have with it, right? We were talking about this before the show. Like Manila was saying, you got to take it slow. You got to take it incremental. You can't just blow it up.
A transition period.
We've been transitioning since the Reagan amnesty in the 1980s. It's been 40
how long would
years.
Your transition period be?
I don't know. At least you would need at least a good few years.
We've had a good 40 so far.
Because no, I mean specific to this industry.
I disagree, because if they have 50% turnover annually, then by definition,
well, you gotta raise the wages.
You could do it in a year. They're churning through 50% of their workforce anyway.
But the thing is, they would need to raise the wages. Like I said, my dad worked at a nursing home part-time before he could fully be accredited to be a social worker, because another scam is like the U.S. education institution, right? Like the institutions of education, they didn't recognize all his college credits from Laos. So even though he had what was tantamount to a master's degree, he couldn't become a social worker. So he had to work his way through, and in order to do that, he took up a job at a nursing home washing dishes. So I actually grew, like, as a small child, I remember kind of going with my dad sometimes to see what the care facilities were like, and they're abysmal. And there were people of all different stripes there that worked there, right? In positions of either it's nursing or, like the LVNs or whatever, that are caring for all the old people there. And I remember thinking it was so sad and depressing being there, because there were old people calling for help. And sometimes I would, and this is the 80s, I would wander in and kind of just start talking to old people and start holding their hands and stuff, and they were so happy. And I remember seeing all of this, and it was really sad. My dad, as I got older, we talked about it, and it was because, to your point, yes, the wages are super low for this industry. It doesn't matter, whether you're a citizen or not. The wages are super low in that field, so it drives a lot of other people from wanting to go into this field because it's heavy on your heart. I mean, granted, my dad was a dishwasher, so he didn't have to, actually physically care for these elderly people, but I saw it. And those were impressions that were left, that were, impressed on me very young, and it stays with me now, and at 45 years old, it stays with me, right? But when you reflect on this, you can't just take away the problem here in this story that you're talking about, is that ICE workers are literally coming and snatching up the aid workers, the care workers, and the care workers that haven't been snatched up. And these aren't illegals, by the way. These are people that are on TPS. These are people that had legal papers to get a job under the Biden era.
Okay, so look,
That
right
there's
there,
so many
right
of them,
there,
and
they are illegal.
Trump went and changed it. Trump went
Yeah.
and moved the goalposts. You can't just leave these people unattended and uncared for. You're going to cause unnecessary harm and death and suffering of old people. That's unfair to them, unfair to their families. Like, that's inhumane. You can't just pull the rug out, right, from all the people that are caring for grandma. That's just not right.
Okay, so this is the same. This is literally the same argument, and this is what I was saying to you before the show. Stop thinking with your heart, start thinking with your brain. Those are two very different things. This is the exact same argument that that big corporations and the government are making right now, who are championing your position, which is, by the way, Team Kamala Harris. So you should have voted for Harris instead of Trump, because you are literally talking her talking points right now. The issue
No, I
is,
voted for Trump because he was talking about ending the war in Ukraine, and you know that.
and
That was
immigration
the
is a
only
part of it. And immigration is a part of it.
differentiating factor.
Well, let's
between
just
the two.
assume let's just assume that Trump's a liar, because he is. He's not going to end any wars in Ukraine. The Russians are going to tell him to piss right on off, because they have. So let's deal with the topic. This is the same fallacy of saying that the American people are going to starve because Americans are too lazy to go work in agriculture jobs. It's not that Americans are too lazy to work in agriculture. It's not that Americans are too lazy to work in healthcare. It's that they will not work for free. That is the difference. So let's just assume that you want to get yourself a job as a medical assistant, or as a nurse's aide, and so you go through, and you're making $40,000 a year. Let's be generous and say that's what you're making. Are you going to be able to going to be able to afford a house in the area that you live in? The answer is no. And the reason why is because wages are depressed. Wages are depressed because of immigration. You're never going to get reform with incremental baby steps. If you care about workers' wages, you have to address the issue that we are exporting our jobs overseas. And what I mean by that, and I'm using the word export deliberately, because we are importing a brand new serf class to keep wages artificially low. If you want to address the housing crisis, you have to increase wages. If you want to address the cost of living, you have to address wages. You cannot do that if you have got 60 million just illegal immigrants. And then you factor in the number of legal immigrants that have come into the country since 1965, which is about 180 million, according to Grok. That depresses wages. Immigration is a scam designed to screw the American worker. This is a fact. If you want grandma to be taken care of, hire Americans and pay Americans enough money to buy a house, get married, have kids. If you want to fix
I
the
don't
social
dispute any
collapse,
of that.
sure you
I don't
do.
dispute
You're
any of
disputing
no,
it right
no,
now. You're
no,
disputing it
no,
right
I'm
now.
not. I'm
The
saying
hell you're not.
the feeling, yes, of course, like should these people be paid more? Absolutely. The people that are caring for grandma and grandpa, absolutely they should be paid more. I don't care what their status is, whether it's an American citizen or an immigrant. The people that are doing these sorts of labor jobs, caring for our elderly, of course they should be paid more. I believe in, but what I'm saying is that you cannot do what Trump is doing right now
Sure you
with
can.
ICE and just taking them away from these nursing homes and leaving these old people to fester on their beds with their bed sores. Like that's not okay. Like
I
that
don't
is
know, Manila.
inhumane and
So
not okay.
Your argument is very weak.
But
Your
Manila,
argument is incredibly weak.
Manila, let's look at the reality here.
I don't think it's weak to say I don't want
But
old
Manila,
people
let's
to
look at the reality.
suffer needlessly.
This is an industry that as I mentioned before, has tremendous churn currently, 50% annual turnover. Yeah, so they're used to constantly hiring. So let's just say, look, I'm not, as you know, I've criticized and will continue to criticize the ICE goons cruising around in their police trucks and picking up people and like presumably raping them or whatever they're doing. That's gross. But the point is,
you'd be okay with the ICE goons picking off the LVNs that are working.
Let me make
care
my
facilities?
point. My point, though, is that if we're talking specifically about this story and the effect on the nursing home industry, I don't see how this multi-billion-dollar for-profit annual industry, I don't see okay, so if Imelda gets picked up and hauled off to ICE and to be like raped and killed or whatever they do to her, I don't see how the nursing home Nursing Corp LLC, how come they're going to have any trouble finding an American to fill that job? When they post that job for $40 an hour, I guarantee you there's going to be a born in the USA, person with completely legal status who with a duly filled out W-2 who's going to say $40 an hour. I'm in. Count me in. I'm hired. I'll go and take care of grandma and grandpa. I guarantee you that. So the disruption is created because the industry, I mean, we're not even talking about an industry that basically has a tight profit margin and is therefore not viable unless it has cheap labor. You're talking about an industry that's deciding to pay itself billions of dollars in profits to itself and its shareholders and its CEOs instead of paying a decent salary to its workers. So they're making a decision. They're creating an artificial shortage they're creating the shortage of workers. Not, I mean,
and
Trump
I agree with that too.
Case, right?
But I agree with that too. But
right?
but you guys are not dealing with what the actual crux of the problem is, which is right now.
I literally am.
If you physically take away all of these care workers that are already understaffed at the facilities anyway.
Like literally.
No, your point is a greater. It's speaking.
They're hiring every year. They're replacing half of their workers. Okay, so let's just say they have to replace 60% of their workers instead.
But today,
big whoop. How hard is that?
Okay,
we're talking about like today. If what's left of these workers that are there at these care facilities, whoever is still there a year from now that are not churned,
go on Indeed and post a listing. You're going to get responses tomorrow, right?
But what I'm saying is disappearing these workers today is bad and inhumane for the old people in the home. So we're discussing two different things here.
For a couple of days, okay.
For old people you've seen, Ted, with your mom in the nursing home. I watched my grandma languish in a nursing home because we're all working.
Literally, if someone got picked,
we would have to go take shifts.
If someone gets deported today, they can be replaced literally tomorrow morning. Literally.
By who?
By someone who you pay properly.
So let me answer this question for you.
By an American, by someone who you pay properly. We have 7 million people long-term unemployed in this country. People who have either discouraged workers and have given up looking for work, or who have been actively looking for work for more than 27 weeks. That's according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. 7 million people. I guarantee you, some of them would be like, you know what, $40 an hour. I'll go take care. I might be a structural engineer. I'm happy to go and take care of grandma and grandpa. You pay them well, they're going to show you can hire Americans. This is not really a skilled labor thing, okay? I mean, it's about picking people up who have fallen. It's about like moving people around.
Minding old people. Yeah, so they don't get their bed sores.
It's easy to train people for this job. It's not hard. So like, I don't understand. I mean, seriously, if someone is swept off by ICE today, they can be replaced tomorrow morning. You just have to pay. I mean, there's not a shortage of people. There's a shortage of poorly paid people. That's the deal, right? And you're right. Americans don't want to take these shitty, low-paid jobs. Yeah. Americans can't afford to take shitty, low-paid jobs, so they don't.
So let's just kind of put this into perspective. Which job is more demanding and more meaningful?
Why do the migrants do?
Well, let me just point something out here real quick, and then I'll answer your question about migrants. First of all, which job is more demanding and more rewarding, working as a barista at Starbucks or being a nursing home aide?
More fun is barista.
More fun,
barista.
Sure,
correct.
Yes.
So
I don't know about rewarding either way, but
okay. So do baristas earn these things called tips? I think
working in the nursing home is more rewarding.
Of course it is, but this is the point that I'm trying to make. Why would you go work, to Manila's point, in a high stress, high physically demanding job like working in a nursing home when you get paid the exact same amount working at a coffee shop?
Yeah, flirting with cuties.
This is the problem. The barista actually, if you figure in their tips, make more. Fact check me on this. Go ahead, do it. I will win this argument. I win this argument by superior facts and belligerency.
And they get free food. And
correct.
Free food, and yeah.
They get free food.
Yeah, they feed you. They feed you on your shift. Yeah. So now, what does the migrant get out of it? First of all, the migrant who gets to come in, if you pile 15 or 20 of them up in a trailer and they're all just pulling their resources, that they are here for whatever reason it is, but they are doing their own little version of crowdfunding. Whereas if you are, say, I don't know, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, you're trying to get into the workforce and you want to get married, you want to have a family, you're never going to do it on those wages. That's the point I'm trying to make. And it's kind of like what we talked about before the show started. The reason why feudalism died in England is because of this thing called the Black Death. It wiped out the worker pool. So for the first time, the workers actually had leverage. That's and true. They were able to then dictate their wages.
Over 50% of the population was gone.
Correct. And so work, once labor is scarce, which labor is always scarce. The problem is that now we're importing the entire freaking third world. Once you restore the value of labor, a lot of the problems we are facing as a society go away.
I have to say, I'm on Team Robbie with this. I do not, obviously, in case that wasn't clear already, I do not understand, as long as if your unemployment rate is above zero, why you're not hiring Americans for every single job. I don't get it.
You should be. And that's the point I'm trying to make.
Now, if your unemployment is if you have zero unemployment and everyone who wants a job has a job and everybody and and then there's still openings, by all means, import people. By all means.
Let's put it this way.
I don't disagree with the ultimate goal, the ultimate outcome that both of you guys are painting. I'm completely in agreement with that.
But you're not.
Robbie, stop telling me what I am. I'm telling you that the way you get there cannot be sudden, and it would be cruel to pull the rug out from all of these people that are being cared for. That is my point. You're arguing two different points.
Manila,
I'm conceding to both of you that I agreed with you, that I agreed with both of you.
The disruption.
I agreed with both of you.
But there's no disruption here because literally, let's say
the immediate disruption.
At Happy Valley Nursing Home USA, let's just say, Ismelda's been picked up and she's gone. Literally, she can be replaced tomorrow morning. So it's no different than Ismelda went on vacay for 2 weeks. Actually, that's more disruptive. No one's going to fill in for her while she's gone. I mean, you certainly can replace these workers quickly. These are not workers that need to be sent for a doctorate degree to be trained. You don't have to wait 6 years or whatever. They're not lawyers who have to go to
Right, but
law school.
I don't think it's as quickly as you think it is. And then of course you need to do all their background check. It takes weeks. It takes weeks to replace people. And in the
Okay, well,
meantime,
I guess
you have critical care old people.
So how are
You
you?
have critical care old people
is
that
not
are
a long time. I mean, that's
So
you
how
have
are you?
critical care old people that need to be turned every half hour so they don't get bed sores. And some of them already do. I mean, it's literally they can die at any moment, any day without proper care. If they don't get their meds given to them exactly at the right dose at the right
yeah,
time, they don't get
they're
turned, they
fragile
don't get
people.
they're fragile. So you can't weeks to get one or two new workers in, not only trained but get their background checks. I mean, I'm just talking logistically. I don't disagree with either of your ultimate points and outcomes of what we want to see happen in this field. Believe me, I've seen this stuff firsthand, and new workers, my dad's friends that work there. I get it. I know. But the problem is you have to be able to somehow force, not only by moves in Congress to bring some sort of, you can't put caps on it, right? Because we're in a capitalistic country. You can't say, okay, Sunrise Nursing Home, you've reached your limit of how much profit you can bring in. How do you force these companies
Oh,
to
That's the easiest.
not
That's
only
the question. That's easy. That's
so
easy.
that's right, and you
That's the
pass
easiest
the
part.
higher wage minimum wage. I get that,
But
but
you're not
that's
going to do
no
that.
one's doing that.
you can also follow my theory as written in my book What's Left, available in stores on Amazon and Rall.com, and you can nationalize every single vital sector. I've always argued that even in a capitalist society, anything that is essential, food, shelter, healthcare, etc., those things should all be run by the government, not other stuff, but those things. Well, obviously, elder care is an essential service. Okay, people have to have it, whether they can afford it or not. So the point is, this industry should be nationalized and run by the federal government. Send Zelensky fewer bombs, and let's just take care of our old people. You know who else does this? Oh, every other country in the world.
What does France do? What does France do with their old people?
They do have nursing homes, but most old people have home care. So they send someone to your house to do your dishes, cook for you, clean your house, administer all your care. And if you're really a total wreck, they send you to a nursing home that is, wait for it, run and owned by the French Republic. So it's all part of the national healthcare system. It's free. That's the way, and it's run by the government. It's every other country on earth does it this way. Mexico does it this way. Cambodia does it this way.
So how do we get from where we are to what the French Republic is doing?
You can nationalize this industry. You just say, the U.S. government now owns this. You guys have already proven that you're assholes. You don't know what you're doing. Fuck you. We're taking you over. The end.
As someone who works in healthcare, I can already let you know that the government effectively controls the healthcare system, because if you take Medicare or Medicaid funds, then you have to follow the government's rules. If you don't, you get cut off and you get economically destroyed. So that's already kind of there. So right now what it is that the profits are privatized and the losses are socialized. That's how our system works. Now, to address this issue about grandma being left in a broom closet because there's no one else around, the way that you fix this is first and foremost paying workers what they are worth. And as long as you're able to import millions of people from Mexico and Laos and Colombia and every other place that you can think of, then those wages are never going to go up. I mean, no, you're never going to get the reform that you're advocating for, because you just keep on kicking that can down the road. This has been the promise for 40 fucking years, since President Reagan was in the White House. I think we've had enough of a try and go it slow approach. It is time now to radically disrupt the system, and you don't do that with milk toast. Oh, my heart bleeds for you, little person. I'm going to bring you in all the migrants that you need. No, you end it now. That's how you apply pressure.
Clear, I think that everybody who's here and has not committed any crimes should be able to stay, and then we should close the border completely. But that's a different topic, and we've talked about it before, and we'll talk about it again. we're just focusing here on the nursing home staff shortage. So, I think I have, this is a problem that the nursing homes themselves can easily resolve without any government intervention. Just hire people.
They can do it tomorrow.
It's like when people say, "Oh, I can't afford to sell my house." Why? Of course, or like, I can't sell my house. Well, you can sell your house. You're just choosing not to sell your house because you don't want to drop the price enough. It's like or I can't hire enough workers. Oh, really? Did you offer $1,000 an hour? No. Well, then you haven't really tried, have you? Oh, I can't afford to pay $1,000. Well, that's a different question. Don't say that you can't. You could. Maybe you can't afford it. Maybe you don't want to. But this is a sector that is not trying. They're offering $16 an hour, and they're like, well, for $16 an hour in like New York City, where you can't live on that, you're just like, you're not going to get a lot of people. Yeah, I would say you're not very serious, right? You can offer a cartoonist $1 to draw a cartoon. You're probably not going to get a lot of cartoonists who are willing to take that. You can't live on
$16 an hour here in Kalispell, Montana. Forget New York.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
But they're literally, that's how much they pay in New York.
Oh, I know. It's insane.
Yeah.
And that's why. And until you make labor scarce, you're never going to get the wages that you need. I would have some
sympathy if this was the CEO of these companies was making like, $50,000 a year, and like there's no profits being raked in by shareholders. They're barely hanging on. I might be like, okay, this is a problem. But that's not the case here at all.
Not at all.
Well, I agree with the ultimate outcome, the desired outcome. The problem is getting there. And I think it's a sad place to be at, where old people who are the most vulnerable, old people and small children are the most vulnerable people in our population. And if there aren't enough people to care for them, it causes a major disruption. Like for my family and I, when my grandma couldn't do in-home care anymore, and we couldn't, she needed 24-hour care when she got moved into a nursing home, there wasn't enough care workers there, that we still had to then take shifts. We had to ourselves, our family,
and why
take shifts into taking care of her in lieu of not having enough aid workers there.
Listen, my mom died in 2020, February 7th, 2020. Okay, she was in that nursing home for 14 months before she died. Who was president at that time? Donald Trump, right? But so the point though is that like the old regime was in place. This was Trump's first term. He hadn't done the mass deportations then. It's like, so why was there a shortage in my mom's nursing home? Because the for-profit company, the corporation, this mega corporation that ran the place didn't want to hire anyone. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. They don't want to hire anyone. Trump could like have an aneurysm tomorrow and decide like, I'm on team migrant. Everyone can stay. I love you. Stay. You'd still have the staffing shortage in these companies because they don't even want to pay. They don't even want to hire enough migrants at low wages. They keep these places understaffed and underpaid as much as possible because they're a bunch of greedy, extractive sons of bitches.
I agree with that. It's the only thing we're discussing here. The only bone of contention between anyone here is how to get there. All right, we gotta go. We gotta move on to our. We got still a couple more topics.
Right,
so let's keep I don't know. I would encourage. We need to do more of this, Ted. We need to encourage the viewers to give us their comments in YouTube or on Rumble. Like if they're watching this as videos,
Manila,
what do you guys think?
In StreamYard, you can put up the YouTube and the Rumble comments. You just click on the comment and it'll come up on the screen, which is cool.
Yeah, but it seems to all be on StreamYard. It all seems to be coming from YouTube, even though I have it set on all.
That's the advantage of YouTube. I think
destinations.
I think you can do. I've been able to do it from Rumble on DMZ.
I haven't seen the Rumble. I can't post up the Rumble ones, for example.
Well, that's because
Tony J.
But that's because I'm grabbing the YouTube feed and then rebroadcasting it. So that's why.
I'm not in
That's
control
it.
of the Rumble feed. That's
okay. All right.
So I can
that's
pop up.
it.
I can pop up stuff just directly over there on Rumble, but it won't come over to anything else.
Gotcha. All right. Never mind. All right.
Oh,
Well.
okay.
All right.
That's okay. No wonder
That's
I
why.
can only see the
Let's
YouTube.
move on, man. We got to talk
That's
about.
why, like for
Okay.
example, that's
We
why
got to talk
the
about gross flies.
Well,
that's
that's
the
why we
people on
got a
YouTube
call
can't
for
say yes.
interaction. Oh.
All right. Well,
Oh, gotcha.
for comments
Okay.
to be posted up, we got to do YouTube. All right. Anyway, the U.S. has closed its southern border again with Mexico to livestock, saying that a flesh-eating parasite, my favorite kind of parasite, has moved further north in Mexico than previously thought. The president of Mexico said that the U.S. is making shit up and exaggerating the supposed threat to our beef industry, which is called the New World screwworm fly. So the female fly lays an egg in the wound of a warm-blooded animal. Hey, I'm a warm-blooded animal. Hatching larvae that are unusual among flies for feeding on live flesh and fluids instead of dead material. So this is like the botfly in South America. It does the same thing. It lays an egg on inside your skin. The larvae feed on your skin and then hatch and create a giant boil before they fly away. So that's fun.
We should have given a warning. I told you it was a gross story. The Rumble room is going, gross. It's a gross story, and I'm gonna show gross video. I'm just warning.
Cool. So the U.S. says that if the fly gets to Texas, its flesh-eating maggots could really cause a lot of economic disruption, which did happen back in the 1960s and 70s. So back then, the U.S. got rid of them by breeding and releasing sterile male flies to seduce the wild females and say, "Hey, baby, let's do it." And then the fly was contained in Panama for years until it was discovered in southern Mexico late last year. The U.S. closed the border with Mexico to imports of cattle, horses, and bison in May, but then on June 30th, it reopened 3 ports of entry. But now there's this infestation that's been reported about 185 miles northeast of Mexico City, and that's about 160 miles further north than we previously thought. And that's about 370 miles from Texas. The U.S. has promised to be vigilant. Department of Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins said in a statement on Wednesday, 3 weeks ago, he announced plans to combat the parasite. He's going to spend $30 million on new sites for breeding and dispersing those sterile male flies to seduce the ladies. Once released in the wild, the male flies would say, "Hello, ladies," and then they would cause them to lay eggs, but they wouldn't hatch because they're sterile, and then the fly population would die out, like happened in the 1970s. The USDA is hoping to stand up a new fly factory in southern Mexico by July 2026. There's a job I want to work at. I want to work at the sterile male fly factory to supplement fly breeding at an existing outfit in Panama. It also plans to open another one in southern Texas for holding the sterile flies imported from Panama so that they could be released in the United States along the border if need be. So, yeah, that's good to hear that they're taking care of that. Also, in gross and strange news, Pepper, who you may know is a pet cat who currently lives in Gainesville, Florida, has helped a scientist discover a new viral strain, and now he's done it again. So in a new study, scientists have again discovered an exotic virus infecting a dead rodent that was caught by not any cat, but by Pepper, the cat. This time, Pepper's furry hunting trophy helped researchers pinpoint an unidentified strain of orthorhyovirus. It's a type of virus that infects people and other mammals. The finding and the virus's complete genome are in the journal Microbiology Letters, which I know you all subscribe to. John Ladinsky, Pepper's owner, who also is the lead author of the study, is a microbiologist at University of Florida, and he looks for viruses much like Pepper looks for rodents. It was Ladinsky who brought Pepper's fresh catch into the lab for testing. His analysis showed that the dead rodent, which is called an Everglades short-tailed shrew, carried a previously unidentified strain of orthorovirus. These viruses infect people and mammals, but scientists still don't know much about how they work in people. There have been a few rare cases of encephalitis, meningitis, and gastroenteritis linked to this virus in kids, however. This strain is officially known as Gainesville shrew mammalian orthorovirus type 3 strain UF1. Rolls right off the tongue. Orthoroviruses mutate quickly, much like the flu virus. Two different kinds can infect a single host cell. That means the two viral strains can then blend their genomes within the cell, essentially creating a new virus. The bottom line is we need to pay attention to orthoroviruses and know how to rapidly detect them, Ladinsky said. Now, Pepper's last contribution to science, you may recall, Manila, was in May 2021 when he brought home a common cotton mouse that carried a type of Geelong virus never before seen in the U.S. Unlike orthoroviruses, Geelongovirus infects reptiles, fish, and birds. It also can cause serious illness in humans. That study was published last year. The lesson here is that every scientist should be working with cats in order to further science.
Okay, I'm going to warn you guys right now, turn away, because the next video is going to show live maggots.
Be a man, watch it.
Okay, so if you can't stomach this, I'm warning you now, live maggots are about to be on the screen.
It's lunchtime.
Going back to this whole beef livestock problem that is being imported into American meat. So here's some maggots related to this whole little. This is maggot therapy.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. So the screw worms, what's happening is, okay, I brought up this whole thing before about the COOL Act. It's like the nation. It's I forget what the letters COOL stand for, but it's basically about a few years ago, the U.S. somehow sunsetted or overturned this bill that was in place for many years about the nation of origin of where we get our meat products, right? So if you get, let's say, ground beef, it would label, all this ground beef, there's cattle from Brazil, cattle from Mexico, cattle from Argentina, all in this tube of beef, right? It used to have to label that. And then people were saying that you're hurting the international trade, blah, 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 because Americans were looking for USDA American beef. So this, I would say, is an argument as to why you need the COOL Act to repeal the repeal on the COOL Act. Repeal the repeal, bring it back, because Americans deserve to know where we're getting our food products, where we're getting our meats, and given that this screwworm thing with the flies are all getting jumbled up in a mixture of meats that we're getting, I think we should know where the cattle is coming from. Ted, I think we deserve to know as Americans that the steak we're eating is coming from Mexico or Argentina or wherever. I think we deserve to know, especially given that there's this new outbreak of this disgusting fly that lays its eggs, it becomes maggots and feeds on live cattle. It's flesh-eating live cattle. It's not eating dead meat. It's eating on live warm-blooded creatures. Gross. How long before that mutates into eating live humans that are like strung out on drugs in San Francisco? No. Just no, Ted. No.
Well, I mean, It sounds like they're taking care of it. And personally, I think the answer here is to get Pepper the cat involved.
No, because then she'll probably get eaten by.
Pepper is a boy's name. That is a male.
Oh, it's a boy.
Don't
Pepper
don't trans Pepper.
I didn't know. I didn't know how Pepper identified.
Is a medium-sized black cat who you will know. If you're a shrew, and you get on his bad side, it's gonna be ugly.
You're sure Pepper's a boy? Anyway,
yeah.
I don't want Pepper to get eaten alive by disgusting screwworms that all it takes is the fly to land on you and lay its eggs. If you have
it's
a
like
cut,
the bot fly. I told you.
Oh,
that exists already. There are flies that do this. Yeah.
So whose side are you on here? On Trump's side on this, or are you on on Claudia Scheinbaum's side? Because she's saying Americans are overreacting. That's what she's saying.
Well, I think I'm on Team Scheinbaum, because it sounds like the first of all the appropriate measures are being taken care of. It's also not really very near the United States. So, I mean, it's like everything that's being done that can be done is being done. And we have the precedent of knowing that this happened 50 years ago, and that it was taken care of and the problem was solved. So therefore, I would say, of all the things in the world to worry about, this one is not like really that big a deal.
It just grosses me out about our whole entire food supply system. It just... Right, we talked about the Lone Star. Remember last week?
Everything's about immigration.
We talked about the Lone Star tick. Mm-hmm. The Lone Star tick that makes you allergic to meat.
Mm-hmm. So maybe that's the great cycle of life. The tick bites you, makes you allergic to the meat, so you don't eat the meat that's infected with the fly.
Blah. That's all I got.
Just all the bugs. There's helper bugs, less helper bugs. Yeah. All right. And then finally, not last, but really not least, and arguably the most serious news story today, a federal judge in LA has ordered Trump to stop those ICE sweeps, in which the judge said that federal agents have been indiscriminately arresting people simply because they're brown. Since early June, agents from ICE, Border Patrol, and other federal agencies have been running around LA and other counties in Southern California, arresting thousands of people in what civil rights lawyers said in their lawsuit last week was unconstitutional and an extraordinary campaign of targeting people based on nothing more than the color of their skin. In her order, Judge Mame Awusi Mensah Frimpong of the U.S. District for the Central District of California said there's a mountain of evidence to support the claim that agents are arresting people solely based on their race, accents, or the work that they're engaged in. That's a violation against the U.S. Constitution's Fourth Amendment protection against unreasonable government seizure. The seizures at issue occurred unlawfully, the judge wrote, so she issued a couple of restraining orders, one that makes it illegal for immigration agents from stopping people without reasonable suspicion that they specifically, not just because of the way they look or whatever, are in the country illegally, and that the other requiring those same agents to give people they arrest immediate access to attorneys, something that has also not been happening. The orders, which apply to LA and 6 counties around LA, are temporary while the case goes forward, but they're seriously already restricting Trump's ability to keep carrying out those raids. Things have been very quiet throughout the Southland there in Southern California over the weekend. And it looks like it might be, at least for the time being, a respite for people there. It's just not going to be happening as much. One thing also about this case is the judge in the hearing asked the government to please provide one single document that showed that they were using anything other than simple ethnic profiling to arrest people. The government was unable to produce a single document to that effect. They had no defense whatsoever.
Like an official arrest warrant.
Or anything, even a memo that says like, hey, don't just look at people to see if they look Latino. Like, I think it'd be enough if like they got a report like, hey, we think Mario is here illegally. That probably might be like cause, but they're not even doing that. They're like just basically
we're showing up in LA.
Yeah, they're just going to the back of the restaurant and they just assume anyone who's working there is illegal and they just arrest everybody.
They're just showing up at the parks, and anyone playing soccer, that's it.
If you play soccer, that's not an American sport. You must be an illegal.
So you should be playing baseball.
So yeah, the government's they haven't even really been trying to follow the law. They're not even pretending to try. And
so Ted, do you think this latest order is gonna put the kibosh on it for real?
For the time being, I think the government has they're going to have to switch up their tactics. They're going to have to at least pretend to be jumping through the hoops. They haven't been even pretending. They will pretend. Yeah. It's like how the cops pretend to follow the rules when they pull you over or whatever.
Like, sir, you didn't use your blinker when you turned left. That's why I pulled you over.
Right. And
Hey, what's that bag on your seat? Like,
right. They pretend. It's like, yeah. It smells like that wacky tobacco. Like, I'm going to have to look inside your anus to see if it's coming from there. So, yeah, there's definitely, but the
that
cops,
smell is the
pretend.
flesh-eating maggots, Ted.
It might be that. They pretend. But ICE doesn't even pretend.
The pretense
they don't even
gone.
pretend
It's
to be
even
ICE because they're not even they don't even have ID. I
They're
love
not
the
even
fact
badged.
that when the other day, they were, Christy Nome was asked about that, and she said, no, they're identified because it says ICE on their little rented vests. I'm like, that's not
that I can buy at the local swap meet.
Yeah, so I'm a political cartoonist, and you know how a lot of political cartoons, everything's labeled, right? Like, like the ship of state, or whatever. So if I just label like Clovis, ICE, can Clovis go out and arrest people? I mean, I guess so, under her doctrine.
If you put an ICE badge on his collar,
yeah, then
that's it.
He's good. Then he's ICE. I mean, that's just that's
he's
ridiculous. That's not ID. Sorry. If that's ID, then I should be able to write Rall on my shirt and just go to the airport and get on the plane. Look, I'm Rall. Look,
me.
I'm labeled. Hi.
This me.
This be me.
This me. I'm me, Rall.
Rall, look, I labeled. Hello. Or if the evil flesh-eating live flesh-eating fly comes and everyone's like, oh, you're an evil flesh-eating fly, he can write on himself label not flesh-eating fly, and then everyone's like, oh no, you're good.
Oh, it's official.
Come on in.
Like I said, Ted, she says some things sometimes, Ted, that,
by the way, doesn't she look like she could be an OnlyFans kind of person?
Yes.
She has a porny look.
She does. Like I said, it's a good thing she's a pretty lady. Because sometimes you get a pass when you have the big hair and all the makeup and the big boobs.
Mm-hmm.
You get a pass for saying stuff that doesn't make any sense.
It would be so confusing. If you're a guy, a straight guy, and you're drunk and you're at a bar, and then Christy Nome hits on you, and you're going to be like, wow, she's hot. But then you're like, oh, but she's also the devil. So, what do you do?
And dumb.
It's not like girls don't have this dilemma with Stephen Miller. It's not like he sidles up next to you looking like Gollum, and you're like, he's evil, but man, he's cute. You don't have that dilemma.
No.
At all.
Yeah, no. He wears his evil front and center. Yeah. You can just look at him and just know.
There's
but
a viral
Christy
video
Nome, you're
of him talking next to a viral video of him. It's a video of him talking next to a film of Goebbels talking, and the similarity is uncanny.
Oh no, I haven't seen that. Well, I don't know who we compare. I don't think we've had a Homeland officer or Homeland cabinet member that looked like this.
No.
So
remember the first one? Do you remember his name?
The Bush one. Negroponte? No.
Tom Ridge. Former governor of Pennsylvania. We've come a long way.
Governor.
Tom Ridge is like a statesman. He's compared to Christy Nome, Tom Ridge is he's like George Washington. He's a colossus.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. I mean, I forgot. But yeah, oh my God, I forgot.
That, by the way, this
now
is
we're here.
Whole department. The Republicans really want to get rid of a useless cabinet department. That's the one I'd start with. Totally useless. Get rid of Homeland Security. Useless. Dumb.
Now we're here. We went from in the span of roughly 20 years since Bush 2 created Homeland Security.
I can't stand the name. Can't stand it. It's such a Nazi
Homeland
name.
Security?
Homeland. Anything involving Homeland. That's not an American word. That is a Nazi word. Here in the homeland, the fatherland.
It does sound like it could be. But I mean, just look how far we've come in the short span of 20 years, Ted, that we started out with Tom Ridge, and we're here at Christy Nome, who is wearing, Louboutin high heels and tight jeggings, right? With her caked on makeup and false eyelashes to run around doing ice raids and bouncing around. Freeze! Ice! Freeze! Right there! Freeze! We're going to arrest you. Illegal.
Is she married? I have to look up.
I think she still is. She was cheating with
Right.
Corey Lewandowski.
Oh,
they had an affair. I don't know if their marriages survived. I never looked it up. I never followed up. I don't know. But at the time,
Brian Nome is in fact, wait, he's
still married?
He was the first gentleman of South Dakota before all this.
Yeah. But after the Lewandowski scandal, are they still married? I never looked into it. I don't know.
Technically, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm looking.
I think Lewandowski is still married to the. He has a very nice,
ordinary looking dude.
Well, Ted, his wife looks very nice, like a nice lady.
Who?
Ted.
Christine?
No, Corey Lewandowski's wife.
Oh. Yeah, according to Wikipedia, the source of all things,
she looks like a nice lady.
Claims that she's still married.
So, well, I don't know. You don't see the former first gentleman of South Dakota out with her anymore. I'll just say that much. So since that affair, the news of the affair broke out like a year or two ago, you kind of don't see Mr. Nome with her. So I don't know. All I know is we see her running around now with her, Prada high heels or her Louboutin heels in jeggings and jiggling around, walking around with these guys in cowboy hats and guns, and she's playing ice. So this is we've become our own parody, is all I'll say. We went from Ridge to Nome, and in the short span of 20-ish years. My, how far we've come. That's all I got to say about that with her.
What's funny is that Corey and her husband don't look that different from each other.
Really? Hold on. I got to pull this. Now that you say that, the audience.
Corey's uglier.
Hold on. Hold on.
But
wait,
they're not
Corey,
it's not like they're a different, really big, different type. You know what I mean? Like.
Okay, let me look. Let me just, before we sign off. Okay. And then what's Kristi Nome's husband's name? Kristi Nome husband. I don't even know his name. Let's see. I just want to compare.
Bryon.
Bryon,
yeah. Like misspelled Lord Byron,
Oh, okay. So here's Corey Lewandowski.
I'd say Brian is better looking than, for sure.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so here's Corey Lewandowski. Yeah. Okay, so that's on screen. We know he was part of Trump 45, right? Corey Lewandowski. Mm-hmm. He had, by the way, he had multiple affairs with Trump staffers, like the hot girl, Hope Hicks. Hicks.
Lewandowski's wife is very unfortunate looking.
Well, like I said, she looks like a nice lady.
She might be suffering from a facial birth defect.
She looks like a nice lady, Ted.
She looks
very
inbred, like sort of like
Ted. She looks a little homely.
My mom was also my sister.
Ted, so okay. Yeah. His wife is probably a very nice lady. She's kind of homely. That's fine. And so here's Kristi Nome's husband.
Heterosexuality. Yeah.
Well, okay, so here's Kristi Nome's husband.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They have a similar, I see what you mean. There's like
you know what I mean, right? It's not
vibe, a look.
Yeah.
There's like a look here. Okay, so maybe she's got a type,
Yeah, she has a type.
Like she has a type. I can see it. They don't look identical, obviously, but there is a look. There he looks a certain way. So we'll right there. So we'll zoom on that. There's Mr. Nome, and here be Corey Lewandowski. And both photos, by the way, from the New York Post. There's Corey.
Not a good-looking man.
Get out of there, Amgen. So there's Corey.
Yeah.
And then there's Mr. Nome.
I think it says a lot that that the algorithm feeds you ivermectin ads. I think it's.
Is that what it was telling me? I never paid
Yeah,
attention to ads. I
It
didn't even
knows
see
you
what it
so
was.
well.
There it is. There's her husband.
Mm.
Okay. So I guess you're right. She has a type. There's yeah, I see it. But I feel like she's swinging below her weight class. She could.
Yeah, but I mean, look. Honestly, like.
But she is kind of evil, so.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, first of all, when she's on like Tinder, and her ad says "must hate dogs," so like that's half the country right there.
Must like shooting live animals.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. So there's that. But anyway, I think she's going to continue to do these ICE raids because you could see it in her eyes.
She's got the hunger.
She is into deportation. She is way into deportation.
Ladies got to deport.
So, like that's just look. I don't think she looks like a nice lady. I see the crazy in her eyes. But anyway, we'll leave you with that.
There's no doubt she's sexy as all get up, but
she's very pretty. Very pretty lady.
But she's also, there's pretty and there's sexy, which are not related.
Oh.
They're not even cousins. You can be ugly and sexy, and you can
yes.
And you can also be gorgeous and not sexy.
That one I don't know. Ted has tried to explain this straight man logic to me about females. I guess I don't see it because I'm a cis straight woman. I just see pretty or not.
Who are like that?
Like
who are
pretty or not.
There's guys. Look. Okay, Corey Lewandowski.
No, for a woman. When I'm looking at other women,
I'm aware,
like
they're
pretty,
saying,
they're not.
But you could look at, let's say you look at Corey Lewandowski. I'd say I look at that guy and be like, all right, he's got a face like a knee, but I could bet he has some game. He looks like he has game. That guy, the way he carries himself, I bet he he knows how to lay pipe. But I mean, you might not call him back for a second round. You may or you may not. But I get it. Whereas someone might be like George Clooney's got both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's guys who are pretty, and who
I don't know.
Justin Bieber is a good-looking man, but he doesn't seem sexy to me.
I see Justin Bieber as a child, so I.
Okay, all right. Well, that's sort of my point, right? And there are girls like that where you're just sort of like, okay, you're good-looking, but you're not sexy. I bet you're no fun in the bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, George Clooney that's a great example of being traditionally handsome.
Has both.
He's got both, for sure. As a straight woman, yes.
Elvis Presley had both. Elvis Costello only has one. He has game, but he's not a good-looking man.
Probably. So Marilyn Monroe, was she both? Was she sexy and pretty?
Depends on the photo. In some photos, she's both. In others, she's just pretty.
I mean, because she's like an icon, a sex symbol icon, right? So,
yeah.
Both.
According
James
to,
Dean,
she was famously smelly. She apparently wasn't very good at bathing, or her natural smell was like.
I've never heard that.
No, apparently she was a stinky girl, and people, yeah. Also,
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Clark Gable also was famously bad smelling, and I guess he smoked a lot, and he had foul breath. Like, it was really a problem for
Rock Hudson
who had to work with him. Now, Rock Hudson, of course, was gay as the day is long.
Yes. But looking at him, he was very visually appealing.
Yeah, beautiful.
And how he presented in interviews, he seemed like a charismatic, fake straight man.
Mm-hmm. Kirk Douglas, apparently
very handsome,
who we talked about the other day in Ace in the Hole. He was also apparently very abusive to the women in his life.
Oh, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Or were like very classically handsome and had game would be Paul Newman.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Oh wow.
Now, now Robert Redford, I'd have to ask you. He seems like he'd be prettier than like having game. But I think that. But the problem is
a lot of really pretty or very pretty and handsome, polished men. A lot of pretty men didn't need to have game, is because the panties were being flung at them, so they never learned the game. They never learned how to like be suave.
No, yeah, women were just going to sit on his face, obviously, but like
that's because he's just look. He was, like it's like Brad Pitt.
Yeah, it doesn't have to try.
He didn't have to try, so he didn't have to learn to be suave.
She thought that Brad Pitt looked dirty, and
he was, and I told you I have friends that were. I have friends that confirmed all of that were stuntmen with him, and about how gross and actually kind of an asshole. But
that's not shocking.
Yeah, that he's kind of an asshole to work with. Although it seems like
he's become nicer.
With age, maybe.
Well, after having been abused by Angelina.
Oh, maybe. I mean, I told the story of how Angelina got him away from Jen Aniston. The ball clutching and face.
Yeah. I mean, that's hard to resist.
Got him.
As a guy, that's hard to resist, right? I mean,
she corners you and clutches you by the balls.
I mean, that's the thing.
And lick your face.
So men are kind of like, and this is something we could do an entire like Rumble Premium. By the way, we're late on Rumble Premiums.
We are.
But like, basically, so girls don't have like a button. Like you can't. There's nothing a man can say or do to or touch or anything on a woman that just like like Trump was like, if you just grab them by the pussy, no, none of that's true. There's no magic thing that you can do or say. Even like
that is not sexy.
That will
to
like
women.
Even like I have $100 million. It'll get you close, but it's not magically going to like
that might be sexy.
Make a woman fall over and spread her legs. That's just. But men, we all have that button. Like we have a button. And like if it like basically you can walk
switch,
up,
so the woman can just flip the switch.
You can like there's certain things a woman can do, particularly physically, but like you go to the Dalai Lama, the Pope, anybody, and they're just gonna.
You're gonna tell me some weird shit like Angelina Jolie did to Brad Pitt
would work
allegedly.
on any man, no matter how
shove
much
and pin him,
no matter how much
grab him by the balls,
no matter how much
and
how loyal
lick his face.
This is no one talks about this. I've never heard anyone talk about this. This is just true. Okay, I'm breaking news here on the TMI show. The fact is, no man, no matter how much he adores his wife or his girlfriend, is madly head over heels, a family man, has lots of kids, fucks his wife 5 times a day. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. If a woman does that, even she doesn't have to look as good as Angelina Jolie either. He's gonna probably 99% of the time succumb. He can't help it. It's not even his fault. I mean, a jury of 12 men would exonerate him because they'd be like, yeah, there's nothing you can do. We just have this button.
There's
you can reach
no
behind,
part of your reptilian male brain that says, whoa, this chick is psycho.
Of course. It's there, but there's nothing
you can do. But that's the feature, not the bug.
There's nothing you can do. It's like if you pat a cat right above the tail, like right at the back of their like little cat butts, they like rise up. They can't help themselves. It's like an erogenous zone for the cat. They can't help it.
Well,
it's not like the cat doesn't have to like you or anything. They're gonna do it, and it's just like that. Men have that.
So young Angelina Jolie. Just look at the eyes here of Kristi Noem, and look at the eyes of young Angelina.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
They are the same. Yeah.
Not now. Maybe very not now because she's like
very
50.
Fixed.
Yes, like the gaze. There's something with
it's like this. It's very
like bright bluish green eyes. There's something, and it's very just piercing you.
And it's very appealing.
There's something similar.
Actually, it's appealing, and it shouldn't be, but it is. It's a sign of cray-cray when you're older.
Well, she's not like that now, but my point with Brad Pitt was that he had apparently, according to the people I knew that worked with him on several movies, confirmed he's stinkeroo. Woo! 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 what my friends told me is just, woo! When you're practicing fight scenes and the dude hasn't bathed for several days and he's got his armpit, your head is stuck in his armpit.
He wasn't really into it, yeah.
But, ew. So that's
These
confirmed
days,
by several of my friends.
3 times a day because it's like incessant heat. I'm like myself. I gross myself out. Yeah.
And then Brad apparently didn't have to do anything to lure women because he's Brad Pitt.
Yeah, right.
He didn't have to come off smart. He didn't have to come off congenial or anything. But conversely, I hear that Keanu Reeves is humble and quiet and smart and sweet and nice and kind, and he looks like that. Just saying.
Yeah.
And he bathes.
Yeah, no, well,
Team Keanu.
Keanu is
Team
of course,
Keanu.
a completely different thing. All right, we're way overdue. We need to
way over, but that's a fun way to end Monday.
These shows this show is 40 minutes too long. We should be aiming for.
We need a timer. All right, that's a fun, nice way.
Anyway,
no, that's a fun way to end.
We have
to
no
end
self-control.
That's our God, Ted, Alec X49 on Rumble says, unfortunately, Ted is right, and every guy knows it.
That's right. Every guy knows it. There's no exceptions to this rule.
You men are disappointing.
This is true about straight men, too. I mean, gay men, too.
Disappointing.
It's just that, like, it has to be a cute guy hitting on them. Not even a cute guy, just a guy. Men are just, it's not like, and it's like, so when I hear, like, those kind of stories, I'm like, I'm not sure you can really characterize it as cheating because you can't help it. It's like, it's not your fault. Like, like.
You're saying this is like a reflex when you go get your physical and they tap your knee.
Exactly. You can't. Yeah. So if you are you a knee slut because your knee goes forward? Are you a bad person? You're just alive. I mean,
oh my God.
Like women are like, oh, I have so much self-control. You don't have self-control. You're just hard to seduce. That's all.
I'm not buying this. I'm not buying it. All right. Well, okay. That's going to do it for us.
Do a poll of every dude you know. Trans dudes, anyone. Doesn't make any difference. It's always true.
So if I say somebody
if it's a trans dude, it has to be like someone who was born a dude. Yeah. Like a trans lady.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes you more than just an animal, is that you have willpower and decision-making ability.
Like, let me put it in terms that I'll translate for you and then we'll go. It's like chocolate. No woman can resist chocolate. Okay, that's weird.
I like savory. I don't really care for chocolate.
All right. Well, normal women.
I'll take a plate of buffalo wings over chocolate ice cream, chocolate bars. Give me some buffalo wings.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to. I don't know if there's any. I don't know if there is any magic thing that like will just with women maybe. But
we don't know. We're a difficult creature. You guys, oh my God.
So whenever I have, when I have like female friends,
oh my God,
you
man,
cheated on me. I'm always like, well, how did it happen? And if it's like a Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie situation, I'm like, it's not his fault.
You're an enabler. You are an enabler.
I'm
home-wrecking enabler.
Keeping it real. All right. Bye, everyone.
Adios, amigos. Happy Monday. We'll see you back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Bye.